Ragman. Guys, welcome back to Super Smackdown, Superhero Smackdown. That's the name of the show. It's been 2 weeks.
It's called Pound Town.
Welcome back to
Pound Town.
Hey, we're in Pound Town.
Sam Basher. Martin.
Guys, welcome back to SourceFedNERD. This is Superhero Smackdown, the show where 4 boys talk about all the superhero shows.
4 non-gendered. It's not important.
Sorry,
got no
I don't know all the titles. We talk about all the superhero shows that are on the air, mainly CW, because it's easier. This week we had a big event. Superhero fought Cyborg Superman, and then nothing else happened.
You know how we knew he was Cyborg Superman? Because he wouldn't shut up about it.
My name is Cyborg Superman.
Why?
I know it's a dumb name.
Yeah.
I know that.
Why?
Because I'm a cyborg, and I saw Superman was here, and the ratings were up. Who he was.
There's no reason. Anyways, we had the big invasion crossover. All 4 shows.
What?
It's girls!
Girls!
You guys want to peek in real quick?
There's Bree. There's a Bree.
Oh,
there he is.
Candace, come.
Candace.
There you go.
And we're
Hi, I
in
don't know
Candace.
what this is. Bye.
All right,
Bye.
I'm just so excited. I had to see what made you so happy.
Yeah.
Superheroes.
Oh my God, can we talk about that?
All right, so
She
this
looked
week,
at us.
this week we're going to be doing Super Smackdown a little bit different, mainly because we
Why
want to
though?
open up the floor so we can just have a general conversation because it's a little harder to pick a best of this week since there's one continuous
Not
story.
for me.
Oh,
Really?
But this week I'm going to be taking Supergirl. Philip,
Flash.
you
Comma the.
Female.
Yo, there's mine.
There it is.
And
Whoa.
DJ.
Talks trash at gmail. No.
Whoa.
At gmail.com. Should we talk about?
What?
Talking about?
Arrow.
And Matt, you'll be talking about?
First of all, I only respond to the name Martin Manhunter.
Martin
The
Manhunter.
Manhunter.
And I will be talking about Legends of Tomorrow.
Yay! And I'm Sam. I'm going to be talking with Supergirl, so we're going to open it up. Guys, you can actually send us your thoughts on these using the hashtag SuperSmack. I'm going to be chop them down on the Twitter
There it
a
is.
little bit, and reading your guys' tweets, but also in the comment section because you don't know where I'm pointing to. There's a screen right here, and we're going to be able to read it. Comments. And make sure you guys vote. I posted the link for voting for which show you thought was the best this week.
Yes.
In the chat. I'll do it again in a second, but it's also in the top of the description. Make sure you vote. Vote multiple times. Whatever. Vote for Supergirl. Whatever you want to do.
Vote for
but
Arrow.
Vote for Supergirl.
Seriously,
Whatever.
Arrow 100. Arrow was the best episode this week.
Oh, but we're starting out with Supergirl.
Maybe.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right, this week's episode of Supergirl was called Medusa. Quick synopsis. As Eliza comes to National City for Thanksgiving, Kara turns to Lena for help when Cadmus unleashes a virus that instantly kills aliens. Then is asked by Barry Allen and Cisco Ramon for help when an alien invasion on their Earth. Cool.
Don't worry if you missed it. It's also in the Flash episode.
Yeah.
Dude, tired of that.
So quick rundown. I had a lot of fun with this episode,
Yeah.
and it's kind of buttoning up the past 8 episodes, including this, but the past 8
It really
episodes.
felt like
Closing
a
a lot of
finale.
loops.
Yeah.
A lot of loops,
Yeah.
maybe a little too quick, but let's not get to that. But it was one of the cooler, scarier stories was involved the start with Mon-El and Cyborg Superman going down, and basically it's genocide of them killing all aliens in National
That's a
City.
terrorist attack.
Yeah, it is.
That opening fight's real cool, though. The fights in this episode are real cool.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. And from there we got to see some Mon-El and Kara bonding over Thanksgiving dinner also.
Yeah.
And Eliza, what the fuck does CW do to make their actresses like they just pump everybody up? Because when Eliza in the first season, that's Kara's mom, and she was original Supergirl.
hate
I remember I hated her.
Yeah.
I hated her because she'd be like, It's like she's floating around in space and she's not talking to anyone.
Kara, I'm so proud of you, Kara.
Rein her in.
Same thing with Linda Carter. Linda, back here.
Right here.
Sam doesn't like old women, is what he's trying to say.
If over 25,
Yeah.
he's not
He's
interested.
Hashtag fuck Sam. We had that one going for a while. Let's get that going again. People couldn't figure out what it meant, and so they were just adding gifs to it, and it was a lot of fun. But guys, how did you feel about this week's Supergirl episode?
I really enjoyed it.
There's one.
I liked it too. I thought it was a good. People were really angry that this didn't.
That it wasn't crossover-y
really
enough.
crossover,
And
which
they
I
should
guess is
not
more
have
of a
marketed
It's
it
the
that
marketing.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said 4 nights, and the most impact we got was Cisco randomly opening portals,
Which were fun, which were actually kind of. I was ready to be
it was
annoyed by
fun.
that, but it was fun.
It was fun, but it doesn't make sense because he only opened the one.
That we saw.
That we saw.
Yeah, that we
He
skipped
could have
over
been at home opening them
That's
up.
that's the thing is that that's the part we missed in the other parts of the crossover was him trying to open multiple portals. but as a mid, because the other shows get their mid-season finales. This is Supergirl's, and as a mid-season finale, I thought it was really effective. We got some cool action, some cool character beats.
I'm bummed that now we have to wait to see the follow-up story with more Cadmus and if there's any fallout from this invasion story.
Whoever those aliens are in space that are coming after Mon-El.
Yeah,
yes, that was a fun tease.
Well, I thought that was going to be the Dominators, and I was like, oh,
That
that's
could have been cool, but no.
No.
Did you guys fall for the Leggy Luthor?
I did.
loop?
Here's what made me fall for it is because when you have low expectations for these shows, and I'm like, wow, that heel turn was way quick.
Yeah, it was.
And then about midterm, I was like, gee, there's got to be another play. But she waited till the last minute to be like, aha, I tricked you, mother.
Yep.
I mean,
And I called the police.
Yeah.
When did she have time to do that? She was staying next to her the entire time.
Maybe
Also,
she texted the police.
They also snuck a missile out in the middle of a parking lot in National City, and no one thought that was weird.
Oh, that happens all the time in National City. It's a
It does.
big city.
It is
It's
a
a
big
big
city.
city.
Yeah, but I did like the payoff we had with Jean and his alien white Martian disease of him transforming.
I'm glad we figured it out. I know it was a little quick, but I'm glad it's out of
Stuck
the way.
with it though. Like,
Yes!
it's so cool.
He
No,
does look
I like Green
okay,
Martian.
the mix between the green Martian look and the white Martian look, it's like the.
I don't know how they would have
It
done
looks
his
like a
costume
monster.
anymore.
Yeah.
It looks like a monster from Justice League Unlimited, and it was so cool. I want more of him transforming into that kind of stuff.
I liked
you
it too
can.
because it gave him something else to play. Just the fact that he has to wrestle with the fact that he is part the thing that he hates that killed his whole society, and now it's the only thing keeping him alive. That's a more compelling character than just Jean himself.
I find Jean pretty compelling.
Because he's had stuff that has come up against him. So now, hopefully, there is more that they can work on in the
Him
upcoming
and Miss
episodes.
Martian need to make up.
Yeah, did you notice when he was fighting Cyborg Superman, Cyborg Superman was real good about only showing the robotic side?
They should have just called him the Eradicator.
I will
just play the name game, switch the names up, and call him Eradicator because it would have fit what he was trying to do. It's still a shout out to the comics, and also we could still get Dean Cain. Dean Cain should be Cyborg Superman.
It would
have been really cool.
Yeah, but it was fun to see this mask on his face and the portals opening.
Well, here's the other thing though. With what I did like about, we got a little bit more of them getting Supergirl, and they are Barry and Supergirl are so much fun together. It immediately put a big ass smile on my face. And I don't know about you guys, but old TV crossovers, I'm thinking TGIF and everything, where it's to be continued on this show. I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, and also all the openings were or at least for Flash and Legends, were different.
Oh, the Legends one was so good.
Well, even Arrow was cool. Because it was more for the 100th episode. It was all the different Arrow logos.
That was cool too.
I didn't catch that because it just looked like it blurred for a second. And I was like, I don't get it.
So this episode had a lot of people determining whether or not they are loved or they love each other. All the way through doing that. So how do we feel about kind of the end of the coming out storyline a little bit there?
I feel like it was very well handled, and I'm glad that it's done now. I feel like they took the entire first half of the season to play that out, and I feel like they got the audience where we want to go, and now we can see how this relationship actually works out. And it didn't feel forced that they got together. I'm like, that's a very realistic reaction to almost dying.
Yeah.
No, also, every reaction that they had, the only one that was a little weird was when Mackie kind of did the turn to her, on the coming out episode. But everything since then makes sense for both of those people. So good writing, Supergirl, and that's why I feel it's the best episode of the week.
I also
had all of you fighting for me as well.
We didn't realize that's how that's working.
I got you.
There's also a little gag that had to be cut from the big crossover of Sarah flirting with Kara. And Kara's
There was a hint.
Yeah, no. But apparently there was a scene that they cut where she was straight up flirting with her, and the line Kara was supposed to say was you should meet my sister or something like that. And I would ship Alex and Sarah so hard.
Oh wow!
So hard.
They would just fight each other all the time.
I would ship that so hard.
Yes, make it happen, CW. Tut.
Oh, you know what you would need to do to make that happen? Have them share a universe.
No,
I did not.
Crisis
Hey, Kara, what's this little toy?
No,
Give us Crisis on 2 universes and just slap them together.
No one liked #White Girl, his White Canary and Supergirl. That was a pretty good
And then, real quick, just because I want to touch on it, Mon-El and Kara.
Yeah.
Why is it? I mean, am I wrong? And the Mon-El is the most charming freaking guy on like any of these shows.
Yes,
like,
for sure.
Like no, it's impossible to be like,
I don't know if any of the shows, but he is very charming.
He's very
I am a fan of them together.
He's been working like for me this whole time.
Yeah,
And
he's
like,
one of the best characters they've introduced.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
Wait till they find out whatever his secret was. Like, oh, about the Daxamites, let me tell you, and then something happens.
I think someone had a really fun idea is that those creatures that have weird faces and you can't see them, they could be like the Durlan, something. They're like shape-shifting aliens that like have shape-shifted so many times they don't remember what they look like anymore. So they look like amorphous, kind of like what?
That's cool.
creepy.
It's cool.
Say it again a bunch of times.
Which, by the way, the Dominators apparently are supposed to show up later this season on Supergirl.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they
So it's
won't
the
have
Earth
any-
38 Dominators?
I guess so.
Yeah, and Earth 38, that was cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as a
Don't
little
care. Want them to be merged.
As a little transition, we can move over to some Flash talk. We had Cisco and Barry.
Little Flash talk.
Yeah, we'll go
just
ahead
between
and
guys.
suck this in.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do a quick synopsis, though.
Right here, we had Cisco and Barry show up, talk to Kara, like, Kara, we need your help. But also, Cisco had the line of, we're not friends, we're more like colleagues.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, all right, Cisco.
It's like, come on, dude, I'm
salty.
introducing you to a friend of mine,
Yeah.
and that's what you say?
Yeah.
Oh,
Little
no,
salty.
We're on another planet. It's not like I just took you to a party with
Yeah.
friends. It's
My-
like, come on.
Even though that was way too short, like at that little glimpse there, one of my favorite of the crossover lines, because the crossover had a couple of good lines, was just this is a real nice universe you got here.
Yeah.
Because it's CBS lighting.
Yeah.
And you have to acknowledge it like, what? The lights are on in
Yeah.
here? And especially
Also, a little like quick to be like, oh, your apartment's nice. Your universe is really cool. I mean,
well,
you don't
I think
know
it's
what's
just
going
like
on.
he can tell, like
Yeah.
the people glow
Yeah.
there.
It's like everything just pretty.
Yeah, did
Yeah,
you
if you go to
notice?
Star City, it's just like, it's,
Yeah,
you gotta have
when
like
Kara
a
was
flashlight
on
everywhere.
Arrow, it was just like you couldn't even see her outfit. Like,
Yeah.
So I love that. But can you give us a synopsis of the rest of the episode?
Oh,
Flash?
This
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
first one for Invasion.
Exclamation point.
Barry asks Green Arrow for help when aliens attack Central City, but when they realize that won't be enough, they track down the Legends of Tomorrow so they can bring Supergirl in on the battle.
Not exactly right.
And-
Nope. All over the place.
But this is where the premise of the crossover really
Yes,
starts.
right.
And,
Aliens.
obviously when the whole crossover got real fun of just seeing like way too many people on screen at the same time. Can I just say though, Sam and I already disagree about this, and that's fine. But man, I liked him across the rest of the crossover. Hated Cisco in this episode
'Cause of
Just
how
in the
angry he was?
It was just like, dude, literally an alien invasion,
No.
and he's just like being so bitchy.
Well, you know, when your friend hurts you, other stuff can be going on, but that's the part that like really hurts.
I mean, you
yo.
need a B story that's emotional. I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like another. Like we saw it with the last time, where it's like, "Are you gonna tell them your secret?" Because I can't wait to. And then this time, the exact same thing happened again.
The
I can't wait
reason-
to tell everyone a secret.
The reason why, though,
It's
like,
forced.
well, no, but it's just like he blames the aliens coming on Barry. Like that to me made.
Which, by the way,
like
it's
that's
his
like
fault.
it's like
Yeah.
silly, but like that tracked for me.
No,
No.
the reason it didn't for me is like everything they kept extrapolating from the audio. Go back and listen to the audio, and they don't say that. Like, in fact, it's never clear that Barry's talking about "Don't trust me" on that day. He later is like, "Oh, you know, my old self said don't trust me right now during this." Like, no. Listen again. Your old self said, maybe don't trust anyone. I don't know. Maybe not even me.
Well, no, he's closing.
He was flippant.
He's
All I
closing the
heard was
time loop.
grizzle.
Yeah, heavy grizzle. Do you think we'll see old Barry?
I would like.
I would like to.
old
Give
man
him the
makeup.
same goatee that they put on all.
Oh,
of them.
That would be really cool. But no, he closed the time loop by doing that. He had to tell them not to trust him in
When it
order
got-
for them not to get whammied by the fucking thing.
Hold on, you need to stop. Old Barry, I want it to be Kingdom Come Flash, where he's basically energy.
Cool.
Please, sorry,
cool.
just
Energy with a little talk boy.
with a little talk boy and a goatee.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
We can make anything happen on these shows. But anyways, there were continuity
sorry.
problems
Are we
there.
only?
but-
No. You told him he needed to stop defending it. So I'm fine.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to
No,
get
I
that
mean,
out.
don't get me wrong. I was done with it by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
are we talking action stuff here too?
Oh no,
or-
everything. Just go all
Okay,
into it.
all
yeah.
the
cool.
things.
We're
So
talking
then, last week I pitched that there were a couple things I'd want to see in the crossover.
Yes.
One of them was I would love to find a way to bring old villains back, which they did in Arrow, which is great. So we'll get to that. But one of the other things that I don't think I said on the show, but I was screaming in the hallways, was I want to see a good way for them to fight each other. And this was such a solidly founded way of just turning these people against each other. And I was telling you this earlier, they powered up Supergirl appropriately. Where it's like, you guys can't do anything to her.
I love
Yeah.
that also Arrow and Flash are the ones that don't get whammied and they have to take them on. It's
Yeah.
like, Barry, yeah, maybe, but it's like, Oliver, like against all of them. No.
Also, a really great showcase of how much Green Arrow has grown in these shows because he's still like the gruff, like, don't be easy on us. Like Oliver's the one that trained me. I shot him.
Yeah.
But also, when the chips are down and people are starting to turn against Barry, he's the one that puts Barry in the leadership position. I love that scene where he's like, and we're going to do this. And Barry's like, and we're going to do this.
It's
and
like
then
to pretend we can't hear you.
Yeah, and then everybody's getting ready to bail on Barry, and Oliver, of all people, is the one that's like, no, what are we doing? Like,
He brought us
one
here,
of us.
this guy, yeah. Also, this episode made me laugh harder than I think I've ever laughed at any CW episode ever. And it's just the moment where it's like they're all whammied and they're all going down, and Wally's like, I need to do something. I got to get out there. In the time of the show, less than 10 seconds passed before Wally's down. He's hurt real bad. Almost bad. No, you better not go out there.
Yeah.
10 seconds later,
I gotta
I think he's
prove myself.
dead.
That was my biggest complaint.
I love that Oliver kept picking him up and laying you down.
Yep.
It's like he ran into a rod like as soon as he walked out there.
I think my biggest issue with the Flash episode, and there's so much fun. Like again, the Heatwave Supergirl scene was one of my favorite interactions. Like, why do they call you Heatwave? Because I burned my family to death, and I like to set things on fire. Okay.
We don't have that on CBS.
But it was almost of the three parts, it had the most that it was forced to do, and you could feel that. Like it was, I feel like of the three, it was the clunkiest.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that they had to introduce for each of the show's current storylines, but personally, I feel they handled it very well. And I know I obviously have a bias because whatever, but I felt like they were very craftily handled, especially when it came to the Flashpoint storylines of like, hey, I know all you guys are time travelers. I accidentally did it, and I fucked up everything.
Well, that's
and like Diggle, you don't have a son, a daughter anymore. Oh, you had a daughter, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
was anybody a little weirded out by Sarah's like, what? I was like, oh, calm down. Nobody on the Legends of Tomorrow team could throw shade at Barry.
You guys have messed everything. Every time your ship lands, you alter evolution for
like
Aaron.
for like in moments, mere moments. It's funny though, because like especially on Flash, it didn't feel so much as an episode as it was like a collection of moments. And it was just sort of like, okay, we need to move them here so that we can do the fight scene with everybody and like resolve this plot line, that plot line. And don't get me wrong, love that they resolved all that stuff so quickly. But it doesn't really make for one solid hour of television.
The only solid episode, personally, I felt out of all of, besides Supergirl, was Arrow. That felt like
it felt like
was a
its
contained
own
story.
self-contained piece.
But overall, like it was a good introduction. It definitely didn't feel as rushed as last year's when it was like, I remember Arrow and Barry were both like talking to everyone and like, and Hawkgirl, you're doing great. And you go around outside Black Canary, you go around out there, and we're going to Keystone City. And
they
it's like,
learned some lessons.
It's like calling football plays.
They specifically had lines like, "Oh, those people are back on the ship on purpose, so that we don't have to acknowledge them right now." Like they tried to contain. Actually, if you notice throughout the entire crossover, Jax would always appear with like a second person. It's like they needed to keep a couple people off screen, just like you can not make that same mistake of like too many things to address.
And they did a very good job with this. I really enjoyed specifically the scene where Oliver and Barry confront
we're in
like,
the time vault.
Yeah, they're like, if I could save my parents, like I had to watch both of my parents die in front of me. Like if I could change that, of course I would.
Yeah,
and so
His
would
was
all
so
of them.
much worse.
It's funny. Him going through that helps you realize all the shit Oliver's been through compared to anybody else. And also, didn't realize it at the time, setting up the Arrow episode. Kind of like seeing that.
The newspaper, the futuristic newspaper, not saying Iris West Allen, gives me like a renewed energy with the Flashpoint storyline. Because like it's like getting a little old where everyone's mad at him. It's like, oh, he fucked up so many things. But it's like Cisco's brother who dies in most timelines anyway, like dies again. But now it's like, oh shit, something's gonna go down with Iris. And that suddenly made me care again. That like,
and made me care about their relationship too.
Because Iris
it's not guaranteed.
And that's gonna hurt a lot.
Oh yeah.
Really quick, guys, make sure you guys keep voting. Just post the link again in the chat. But we're gonna keep going. All right. But what else?
Somebody needs to sit Cisco down and be like, Cisco, man, if you're serious about being a superhero, you need some personal tragedy. Your brother had to go.
You guys are gonna learn something.
Guess you're right.
Everyone's lost somebody.
And you think as big of a nerd as he is, he would know that too.
I also really like, we've got it twice now where people are like, Barry, who knows if that was your fault? Dante might have died anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like, that's a really
It
solid
literally
point.
is a drunk driver. Like, right? Just go that guy. That guy's the guy to be mad at.
Yeah, be angry at that guy.
But it's easier to be mad at the person that's right in front of you.
Though I do
It's easier to be mad at the person that changed the entire timeline.
if you go back and you watch the
Because he wanted
timeline,
to,
Barry's like, "Hey, I'll buy you another drink, guy, stranger."
At least
ya.
that's the next phase of
That'd be so shitty.
Cisco hating Barry's when he finds out he was a happy billionaire in the Flashpoint. Wait, hold on.
yeah.
Wait
So
a
my
minute.
life was a lot better.
So I
Yes,
had
I cannot forgive.
Yeah, my brother and I was a billionaire. Never again.
No, oh my god! Like they're like, no, we won't talk about the Flashpoint storylines, but yeah, here's what you had a season ago. This is where your life was at.
Here's a question: do you think that was awfully fast to forgive Caitlin? They haven't even said that they haven't diagnosed her as being like schizophrenic or anything. They're just like, oh, no, it's fine.
She just can't use her powers, right?
But she
if she doesn't use her
tried
power.
to kill them.
Yeah.
She tried to kill them.
She was just
evil.
confused.
Remember when Barry got
just
whammied and he tried to kill everybody?
She
Hold on.
wasn't.
Nick Blvd's Hassan says these crossovers were no Avengers, but it was still good. I actually thought this was way more ambitious than Avengers.
Yeah.
If for no other, it's like if you had Arrow and Flash and Supergirl team up with the event, like a whole team of superheroes on top of that. So and then you had Arrow's full team and Flash's full team.
Oh, I got some stuff to
But
say
I
about
disagree
Arrow.
though. I disagree though, because the Avengers over the course of 2 hours, I think told a more cohesive and ambitious story and set up
About an alien.
the characters better.
I don't know if I've ever seen
And the
something
aliens
this
look very similar.
I don't think I've seen anything this ambitious on TV ever.
I don't know. I think if it weren't for the Legends of Tomorrow episode wrapping things up as neatly as it did, I would feel very differently
it
about
was.
this crossover.
Well-
That's what I'm saying is like it took a lot to like move that plot forward because like the Arrow episode is almost entirely like not about the crossover at all.
It's
So it's like you really only have 2 hours.
I would have said it had the weakest villains in this until the Legends episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, these are actually like fairly motivated.
Right, like I completely understand their motivation.
But for Flash, I would, so we can like kind of wrap up the story. I did like all of the side stories they had with HR helping out, right? That's what they're called.
Yeah.
HR helping out Wally.
I'm
And
looking forward to
Wally,
that.
Oh my God, this acting that he's doing now was not in the last season
Which,
at all.
by the way, wait, Wally?
No, Wally.
I think Wally's been an MVP. No, I thought he was
No,
really good last season.
I'm on board with you.
Yeah.
There's been times where I want you to be fast.
Yeah.
Like,
By the way, why the fuck do we call him HR?
Huh?
We just chose two. I know, but we just
Wouldn't it
chose
be
two.
HW?
Yeah. He just chose two random letters in his first name. Like,
I mean,
we're
he's
running
a-
don't you guys? It's
Earth
Harrison
18.
Rouse. You guys not been saying it right?
You got a Harrison Wells, you got Harry,
Yeah.
and now you got H.
Yeah, but you know, anyway, that's my only point.
There's a couple of gripes, but Flash, I really enjoyed.
It was the best. It was the best the setup could have been. It was a setup episode. It's people uniting in a hallway, basically on their way to a journey.
you had
Specific
Flash
hallway, by the way, wing Hall of Justice.
Hallway of
Yeah,
Justice.
baby.
You did get that, and
The
that
hangar
was-
of justice.
Hanger of Justice.
The hangar with the most expensive exterior ever.
Yeah.
It's just a hangar. But if you guys look around in the Legends episode, on what's in there, it's not just empty. Like there's curtains up to like Argus test satellite with like working with Stag Industries and like Star Labs,
Very
and that's
cool.
so cool. But Flash is really good. Make sure you guys go vote for Supergirl, and now we're gonna move on to Arrow.
Hey, I really need to quickly address a comment here. Elzeus13 says Matt hates Ragman. How dare you?
Matt
How
is
dare
Ragman.
You? I am Ragman.
Me,
Cosplaying right now.
Ragman.
Do you really have a Ragman asset?
Love that Ragman.
And all the belts.
Ragman.
Ragman.
Belts.
You could call him Rag and Belt Man.
All right.
There's so many belts.
With Arrow's invasion episode, we ended the Flash episode with them getting abducted, which was really
All
cool.
the non-metahumans, specifically.
I thought it was going so fast I couldn't figure out who they were grabbing.
Yeah,
I thought
same
they
here.
grabbed Rory and Firestorm. I was like, those characters would have nothing to do in this
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantasy. Like even Ray was just like, and I'm at the party.
It would have been kind of funny if they had Heat Wave, and as they're having these deep emotional like revelations, like he's just in the background, like, what the hell is this shit, man? I don't even know. But it was tough because one of the reasons they cited
That would have been a cool storyline if Diggle had to take down Heatwave and like,
Yeah.
they both started to remember things.
Yeah,
that they worked together.
One of the reasons they cited as Supergirl not being involved is its mid-season finale, and it was an important episode, so they didn't want to compromise it. But this was Arrow's 100th episode.
Yeah.
And so they were in that boat anyway with trying to serve two masters, because how do we sum up
Right.
whenever it was, and I thought as a crossover it was really cool. As the celebration of 100th episode, flat out fantastic because you brought back a lot of classic characters. You really summed up where Oliver has been these past 5 years.
Very well. And it was painful.
And using this is an old school classic sci-fi trope of like, oh, what if you hadn't? Especially superheroes. Right. There was at least one Batman the Animated Series episode that dealt with this. For the man who had everything, Superman, whatever.
And Supergirl last season.
And I thought this was more effective because we've had 5 years with this character.
Quick shout out to, so really quick, Alex at 1DC Dame. She is wearing the same shirt as Fimo, and she's watching.
It is a lady's shirt. How did you know?
How did you know? But so it was interesting. Like you on the one hand, you've got this great focus on what if Oliver's life had been normal, and also in their psyches, like you're able to pick apart little things like why does Diggle imagine his life as Arrow? Is he that like still emotionally like? Thinks so little of himself that he still needs
to. He said he needed to repay for the things he'd done.
He's still so bent up about killing his brother that even in this fantasy, in this fantasy reality, he's still trying to pay off a certain guilt.
Yeah,
but Oliver's happy. He's going to be married with Laurel. Sarah's more open about her sexuality.
And they fixed the Laurel stuff. They're like Dinah.
Yeah,
and they're like, look at that pendant you have. It's like that's
and also,
never been
your
there.
license right here.
Captain Lance is still a detective, and then you get the flashback with him with hair, and you realize how much has happened on this show.
I would have
He used to have hair.
I would have loved. It's like, and here's the pendant, and here, go ahead and use your screen. Moving on.
But on top of that, you got a really probably the best team up. I was going to say between Flash and Supergirl, but their racing through the city was pretty dope in the finale.
That was really cool.
Also a cool one-off villain that is way more powerful than any other villain they faced on the show, other than maybe David Dark.
We have to talk about this because we were talking about this. Like they beat the shit out of her.
They beat her.
So mean to the lady.
And she wasn't even doing anything mean. She just stealing.
They straight up stopped her, and then they did the 1-2 punch of taking her out.
Right,
like, I think she was down.
And Oliver and him, they could have just been like, all right, and I got her. Instead, it's like, whoa, bam!
And then like I was kind of nitpicking this like big like crossover thing, and then the Arrow characters wake up, are running through the alien ship. Oliver grabs an alien gun and is shooting at aliens with an alien gun. They go to a drop ship. They're being chased by a bunch of aliens. I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing this on this is a live-action superhero TV show. This is blowing my mind. And they're like, how are they going to get out of it? Because somehow, I don't know how, I forgot the Wave Rider was a thing. And then the Wave Rider comes out, and I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care what things didn't work in these episodes. This is the best thing in my entire life ever.
It was really cool. All of that was really cool.
My only nitpick.
Yeah, here goes.
Is Ragman and Mr. Terrific didn't need to be on that. On that little raid, on that little it was basically Wild Dog, and also Mr. Terrific could have toned it back a little bit. We get it, aliens.
Yeah,
we get
excited.
You
like,
need
we had our tech that existed.
you need to, because here's the problem: is all those characters serve basically the same function.
And
so when you get them all in a room, it can be like, hey, maybe dial it back.
And why didn't Ragman try to take down Supergirl? Why didn't Ragman do anything? Ragman was there. He didn't do anything.
And he was like, it's an honor to be working with you.
Yeah. Also, he is the one. He also is the one that figures out their language, which was a weird,
Jewish, right?
which was a weird arc to introduce. Like, hey, maybe God exists in this universe, and then we move on. Like,
it felt like it'd been all season building up to this thing.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific is like, does it matter?
I thought it was a cool thing. The mini arcs were cool, but definitely the main attraction was the celebrating 100 episodes of Arrow, which I thought was fitting in this crossover. Seeing how far they've come from just Oliver with his raggedy ass hoodie to now a full world of superheroes.
Yeah, it's so nice to see Moira.
It's so nice to see Moira.
I didn't realize how much I missed her until she started talking. It's like, this is one of the best actresses they've had on any of these things.
Yeah.
She's scary and yet like motherly.
She's like a grounding
and I started
presence.
to kind of like tear up when they were hugging. And he was like crying.
And that's the most lines his dads have.
And it's actually one of the smartest things Arrow ever did in its early going, because most superheroes are like, and their family's dead. It's like, no, what if you had a vigilante like Batman who still had to deal with his family?
Yeah.
And maybe his mom's evil. You know what I mean? Like that was that's one of the things that hooked me early on.
Hurt so much when she died. Like, and they played it for a second, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot this episode.
That episode was a great feint.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see it coming.
Yeah.
It puts into context why season 3 and even season 4 to an extent felt a little lacking, and like the show was trying to figure out what its voice was, because that connection to his family was so very key to building Arrow in those first 2 seasons, and the fact that he could never fully relate to them in the same way ever again, and dealing with the fact that his mom was a villain and all that. But then now I feel like they're finally kind of honing in on what the show is now.
Yeah.
Slight critique on where the show is now. It took until he was talking to his dad and their conversations for me to really remember it's Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's been Oliver for like seasons now,
Yeah.
and it's this little underground family. But really, like they were famous billionaires, like, and they had these really deep relationships, and it does
miss
work
the
when
mansion.
Dia calls it out.
And they're kind of bringing
They're
kind of bringing it back with Miss the Mansion. They're kind of bringing it back with the mayor's story that now he has an life outside of being Green Arrow. It's not quite the same, you know. It was really cool seeing. Speaking of the 3rd season, like, and Ra's al Ghul's not here because nobody cares. But everybody else, you had Merlin, and I also like the way they paired off. Sarah takes down Damien.
That's who was missing. I was like, season 1, season 2, season 4.
Wait a second. What happened in season 3?
I remember.
And then Oliver takes down Deathstroke. I don't remember the Deathstroke costume looking that fucking cool.
Vincent Plu's writing, not enough Deathstroke, though. We got 2 scenes taking down Deathstroke.
I noticed that the mask was not going to to come off.
Yeah.
All right,
Which is disappointing. But fine, I'll accept it.
Did they?
It was cool.
Was it me or were Roy and Tommy CGI?
They were.
Yeah, or something. So there was a reason they were all holograms.
Yeah, they were.
They were all holograms. Those two were like from the upcoming video game.
There was.
Roy. Oh, so they said Rory. I'm like, there's not another Rory.
Hassan in the chat says Oliver should wear Ragman as his hoodie instead of what he usually wears.
That would be a great, like, how Matt got possessed with Ghost Rider this episode. Like, for just one episode, Arrow puts on the rags
by accident.
By accident.
Can you imagine a fucking rag firing an arrow?
Can you imagine a rag running around Central City? Crisis on Infinite Rags.
That was another. Apparently, there were scenes with Tommy and Roy that they didn't think they were going to be able to get those actors, but they did write them. And since they weren't able to get those actors, they did not quit.
I mean, if you got as many actors as
They
you
got
already
so
have,
many.
Yeah, it's like
I was also a little disappointed. I can't even remember his name. Who did Maura Mary?
Oh, the black gentleman.
Yeah.
Walter Steele.
Walter Steele. They mentioned him. I'm like, that would have been fun.
Yeah. Also, you know who Prometheus is now. You know, I mean, like, I'm gonna call it.
Is
right
Walter
now.
Steele?
No, you not call. How can you not bring up Walter Steele?
Well,
He was an important part. He was an important part of the first 2 seasons.
I'm calling it right now.
They brought up everybody.
I think if he was Prometheus, we would have seen him because
I think
obviously they could have gotten that actor.
if it was going to be
Walter.
No, his friend Tommy.
Yeah.
If it was going to be Tommy as Prometheus, he would have shown up in this crossover.
Same with Walter, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that means they had the actor.
I have a feeling deep down, and he's mainly tied back to season 1, and that's what Walter did know kind of about.
I would prefer Walter over Tommy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
What even
firm on
happened
Tommy
to
should stay
Walter?
dead.
He went around.
He left.
He went around.
He
But
left.
anyways, we've been talking about Arrow for a while.
Wait, what if Prometheus is Moira?
That'd be making no sense.
No sense
at all. But
I think she's an attractive older lady, by the way.
I don't think anybody would
She's
disagree with
lovely.
you.
What if it's Papa? Papa Dad.
Papa Dad from Earth 2.
Oh, he was captured because Oliver died. But anyway, but I do want to say the scene between
Batman.
Thea
Sure.
and Oliver, and which I do have an asset for.
Oh, where Thea's explaining why she wants to stay?
Yeah, no, that
And
was
kind of makes sense.
No, that was
Makes
her
perfect
best.
sense.
That was her best scene. Period. On any episode of the show ever. And Oliver, like I don't think I've ever bought him so much on the show. I've never been like, yep, I get it.
Man, when
you
you
know
see-
what if everybody stayed? Like, wouldn't it be great?
When you see Stephen Amell put on the waterworks, you're like, okay, man, you need to.
You need us. You need us.
That's why when he hugged his parents, I was like, damn, I forgot.
It was really good. There were some moments in Legends of Tomorrow too. But any final thoughts on Arrow?
Seriously, this is easily the best episode of the crossover for me. I thought it was the most complete story. I thought it was the most celebratory. It really reminded me of all the things I love about Arrow.
But my favorite part was when Wild Dog 1 minute says, "I don't trust you guys," and then 1 minute later he's like, "You know what?
Yeah,
I will
you're
die
pretty all
for
right.
you. I will die for you now." That was the side plots were a little weak for me, but the main storyline, the main.
But remember when they're escaping all the alien spaceships, and then the Wave Rider comes in?
And
so that moment is one of the most epic moments. The only way they could have made it slightly better, because I was starting to build up that feeling too of like they can't escape this. There's no controls. I kind of wanted that Toy Story 3 almost ending where you're like, No, that's
They're
it. They're
gonna
gonna die.
die.
Because it's not only being shot at, it's plummeting toward the earth.
Yeah.
And just went a little longer, and then just the Wave Rider saves
Right,
it.
tease it out just a little bit.
This was the guy who just shoots sticks around. Then he was driving a spaceship.
Driving a
but
spaceship.
anyways, Arrow, go and vote for Supergirl. Now we're gonna move on to Legends of Tomorrow, which I have to say was I think it was the episode that did the best. Did the most with the crossover.
Well, I was really nervous going into Legends of Tomorrow because I'm like, they took, quite rightly, they took the whole episode of Arrow really just to deal with the 100th episode and to see how far that they've come. But I'm like, there's way too much plot for a big messy crossover to wrap up in one episode, and goddamn they did it. I don't even know how they did it. I'm like, okay, they're obviously going to go back in time to go fight the aliens, but no, they're going back in time to kidnap an alien, and I love that sequence.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Gotta point out, Citizen Steel.
Woo!
Rough costume.
Rough
costume.
Real rough.
Again, it's helmets, man.
This little-
it's the
It's
helmets.
helmets.
It's too bulky.
It's-
the helmets they make for these shows are too bulky.
No, they made it aerodynamic.
No, that's from the comics.
Why is he
I'm
running?
cool with the fin. It's just there's a lot of
padding.
Mass.
Yeah.
I thought about that recently. It's because if they don't make it real thick, it can like bend in weird ways.
Okay.
So like if you notice, Barry's is really thick right here because this is the weakest part, as we learned from Sam's costume. So it's like really easily falls apart.
One of my, this episode had one of my favorite parts of the entire crossovers, like because I like you and like many people were really annoyed by Cisco's incessant hatred of Barry and just harping on it, even though like I got why, but the moment where he realizes how easily he fucked with time was, I think, one of his best acting moments, like. Period, and just
it was so I don't know.
It was just so human. It was really real.
What did you guys think of that choice of saving the alien?
I would have done it.
I liked
too.
it.
Yeah.
Man, those screams were heartbreaking.
Yeah,
They're
also-
just like in another room the whole time.
What did you guys think about the aliens like raptor claw thing on their arm,
That's
like the
pretty
extra
awesome.
claw? I thought that was like a cool little
It kind
touch.
of reminded me of Signs. So like,
Oh yeah.
But also the best use of Legends of Tomorrow with time travel is having the agent you meet in the 50s be the one who's been working with you since Flash.
it is Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes. It was very good.
That was great. My big gripe with the episode is that Supergirl's one plot point is that is basically just to make sure that she doesn't show up at that one fight, so they could avoid paying for the special effects on it. Like she's kind of wasted throughout this entire crossover.
It's tough. They talked about
In a
how
way.
like the showrunners were like, hopefully nobody noticed, but she doesn't show up a lot. In what was this, episode 8? Was there mid-season finale?
Yeah.
Episode 7. They're like, hopefully nobody noticed. She's locked up for a lot of that episode because we needed her available for the 5 days to shoot this, and so it was one of those like it feels like time-wise, Supergirl was the hardest one to negotiate out the
She
shows.
didn't do as much as she could have.
Yeah.
The one thing she did do is give them perspective on like what a godly fucking super being is.
but that makes
And
her
that was
like
pretty interesting.
a device instead of a character.
No, absolutely. She did not play the role of a character in this or her own.
She was charming, and I liked her.
She's
but
wonderful,
yeah,
but like from a writing perspective, I feel like they really didn't take advantage of that opportunity.
You guys catch that little Superman reference? Superman Returns.
Oh,
Yeah,
where you had somebody
she
in the
looks like
comments,
my
a
cousin.
and he makes that look, and I'm like, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Also, I heard that I was like, what does Brandon Routh look like? I was like, who's acting? Is she on like a CW show?
What if he started getting like headaches and he's remembering like,
Yeah.
wait, I used to be Superman.
Speaking of headaches, I thought it was gonna be kind of lame, but I like Stein's story with his daughter. Oh, his daughter is
really
great.
effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think that's one of my favorite storylines from time travel things you can do, because the two things you always hear with time travel storylines is that you want to go back in time and fix something, or you want to go back in time and remind yourself, like, tell yourself, don't be stupid. Like, and that's what he did. He went back in time and told his younger self, he's like, hey, guess what? You have the best thing in your life. That's your wife. And you fuck it up a lot, and she still sticks by you. Take care of her. And, like, what do? You have a kid.
Wait,
You
what
take
if
it to
his
Pound Town.
what if his daughter's
Pound Town.
Prometheus?
There you go.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Is he not going to get the rest of the memories?
I think it's kind of coming back.
That would
He's got like
be
little
tough.
glimpses, and they're really just all her in a field.
anybody
that
else-
time he left her in a field and started walking away.
Was
And
anybody
she
else?
walked towards him
Light shots.
smiling.
Was anybody else weirded out about how many Legends of Tomorrow plot lines were paid off in the first episode of Flash in this crossover?
I liked
Yeah.
it though. I liked that. Like they
like if you
brought the
did not
mystery out.
watch if you don't watch all these shows, you would be so lost.
But that's got to make all of their watch times on CW's app.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
Here's something that was like, at first I was like, oh, that kind of sucks a little bit, but I was like, no, it's earned. Near the end of this episode, it's like, wow, on the Legends episode, you gave the most interesting end stuff to Barry and Oliver.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like had a beer and they had that talk at the end. And it was
That
like,
was
these
fun.
are the two people that are not on this show.
Which again only
But-
pays off if you watch all the shows.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, you know what? It does make me feel like.
I mean, if you're watching Legends, you kind of had to have watched
Yeah, I don't
the other
think
ones,
you
yeah.
watch.
But it does make me feel like these are our leaders, and it felt good to
Yeah.
know who our quarterbacks were,
Yeah.
and our
Yeah.
backup quarterback, I guess, too. But it also reminds me just of like how Flash feels in the comics, where because he's so damn powerful but kind of an idiot,
Yeah.
like he is at the center of a lot of these things, and this was. Barry's crossover in a way, even though it was
Yeah.
about the invasion, it's
They're
still
all-
emotionally his arc.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate like amongst all of these, like, you know, this number of characters that one, usually this guy, can kind of still be the the one that is the key, but in an
core.
emotional way that
Yeah.
it's all writing on like this guy fucked up and he feels real bad about it.
Yeah, no, and I also just like the Dominators. Like, I was like, wait, I forgot for a second. Like, right through Arrow, I was like, wait, why the fuck are they here? Like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was a cool payoff. It was like they're kind of like Nazis a little bit. Like they kind of see the future. They're like, and we're gonna just annihilate all of them. Like,
They go around from planet to planet like, are you going to be a threat to us later? Screw you. They're like,
but they were going to leave us alone until Cisco went back in time with them and saved them, and Barry just went around and just changed the timeline, and they felt
small
it.
plot hole, like to an alien, what the hell's a meta-human? It's just like, oh, some humans go fast.
well, but here's the thing: like, if our species advanced to where we're traveling through time, and then there's another planet where not only are there species like us, but some of them have the power to change time, and none of us do.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That's really scary because they could
they said they
affect
had run
us
into
somehow.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they had met people that had gone that far on other planets, and
Right.
they had to get rid of them because they were a
maybe
threat.
Krypton. I don't know. It made me think of that. Like, what if they sensed that Krypton was going that way, and were the ones that destroyed Krypton?
Yeah.
Who knows? Could be kind of cool. But we
just saying.
had
That'd be, at least it would motivate the Krypton destruction.
I'm just saying.
Otherwise, it's like an environmental disaster
Yeah.
kind of
Which,
thing.
hey, pay attention to that stuff, guys.
two really cool
lost their barrier
things that
reef.
happened in this episode where I like seeing Steel and Cisco like vibe together. That was really
Yeah,
cool.
that was dope.
Being nerds and going
Yeah.
back in time and like seeing Mick and
Yeah.
Vixen and all of
Super
them.
friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was so cool. And I liked that we got transmutation, and also Cisco's like, he
Finally,
can do that.
was great.
yeah.
Great,
And the way they shot that was really cool. With Firestorm, I was like, I need more of this Firestorm. This
The
Firestorm's
only thing
the
was like,
best
I have a
one.
daughter, and he's like, that's
expensive
not helping.
Firestorm.
Oh yeah, more pressure, thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. But no, you want transmutation, and also it's like that's what he does. That's
Yeah.
that's Firestorm's big
That's
thing.
what makes
thing.
him not the Human Torch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes him really cool. But
Yeah.
Legends Tomorrow also had some really cool moments. But well, for you, what was like your favorite thing out of it?
Out of the whole episode or out of the whole crossover?
Legends Tomorrow.
Out of Legends of Tomorrow, I think it was just like. I think it's just the fact that they were able to wrap it up and all of the motivations made sense. Like the Dominators coming made sense. I was able to empathize with them. Tying it to Barry, having everyone forgive him for a reason that was logical. I think really Cisco forgiving him and the reason why and how that played out would be my number one thing, because I'm like, that's just a problematic plot line, and I didn't expect it to come as well written and as well performed as it did.
It was. And then the final fucking fight was
super
incredible.
fun.
Also seeing Flash and Supergirl, they were running around the planet.
Running
right?
around the
That
whole
was really
planet.
cool.
Yeah.
That was a good use of those characters.
Yeah, that's all you can do, because what? Like, Supergirl's just going to fly through them like
Oh.
Adam did in
Yeah.
that
Oh,
one
we didn't
episode.
talk about them racing in the Flash episode, did we?
No,
because that was
Where
dope.
He tricks Evil Her into breaking the thing. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And
His
I
face.
love the heat vision, and he like slightly dodges it. Just
Yeah.
that one moment was like, oh, take a picture of that.
The action in all of these episodes, I think the hand-to-hand was a little rough in Flash. It
Yeah.
was like a little, but him running out of arrows was like a fun thing, and he had three people, like, I think two had guns.
Yeah, it was a little like you wanted a little bit more from Green Arrow versus White Canary, because that's like the one person that could go toe to toe
Right.
with them.
Right.
Yeah.
And she,
They tried to
I
make
don't
it.
know.
They tried to make it like, oh, and here's their big moment, and it just kind of felt like stuntmen again. It didn't feel like they really paid.
The only moment
it well.
that didn't quite action-wise pay off for me in Legends was when like there's that big shot of Fiction puts on the elephant. And you're like, yeah, she's gonna blow through a bunch of Dominators, and then she's just fighting. I'm like, but
it's like I thought she was gonna do like a straight up
charge him and bowl him over.
It would be like so cool if she was running, and whenever her foot hit the pavement, it would crack a little bit. And you're like, oh shit, she's gonna.
It's like why even have the moment where you have her do that?
It'd be really cool if Legends did more, because there's moments where you have a team of characters, and then you get a real, usually right before they die, you get a real showcase of how powerful a character actually is. They could really pull off something cool with Vixen, where you really see like what she can do.
Yeah, make her fly, damn it! Like she can fly. That's the thing. Like
her powers make no sense. Her powers make no sense.
Here's why they didn't have the best episode of the week, and it's because it wasn't a very good
Arrow
episode.
Existed?
Probably, but also because it wasn't the best episode for the Legends. And that's a little frustrating.
I don't know. This might be my favorite Legend.
No. Legends, it's a good episode, but the characters themselves play kind of the smaller role. Like in this arc, they're not really.
I think
Seal had a pretty good had some good moments. So did Vixen and Mick.
They're just a lot of very small moments where they had to play a smaller role.
I would say, however, like in some ways, it was the most satisfying episode of the crossover. Not to discount how great Arrow was, but like Arrow to me is more of a standalone in the midst of a crossover.
It was the more standalone. It was also interesting. I wonder if Legends felt a little lost in the shuffle, for one, because there's so many of them, and also because so many of them were characters on other shows. So when you have Sarah and Ray in the Arrow episode, they're like, because they were on Arrow.
Yeah.
And you remember, like,
Stein was on with Caitlin.
With Flash. It's like, you have to remind yourself, oh yeah, this technically counts as a crossover because they're on another show now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying, so in that episode, I don't feel like, like Martin probably was the one that had the most.
Manhunter?
Martin Manhunter.
Dr. Stein, he had the most kind of like happen emotionally, but for the rest of them, it was kind of like, I'm here still.
I really wanted Adam to shrink once.
Yeah.
Just one time.
When he was fighting Supergirl and the big training thing.
Did he shrink?
Yes, he shrunk.
Why would that help?
Little shout out to updating his costume with Cisco.
Yeah.
They always have that whenever the costume designer's like, hey man, we should update that. They drop a little line to Cisco. Hey Cisco, you want to update this costume? Hell yeah, I do.
I wish he was like, oh Cisco, you want to update the costume? Like, I'm doing like 17 right now.
Him and Win, when they merge the universes, because they should merge the universes.
And Win and him become one character.
Him and Win should open a costume shop, like the superhero costume shop.
That'd be cool. There's one of those in Marvel, which is really
Are there? I love it when they do that shit. Like there's a Batman comic that introduced the banker for the bad guys. Like he's the one that helps them find the warehouses that they use as hideouts and shit.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But at the end, I was a little bummed we didn't get Linda Carter as our new president. By the way,
They tried to, and then the studio was like, maybe too confusing.
Warner Bros. Always does that. We're not stupid, okay?
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
I don't know. A lot of people did not pay attention to all the stuff when they're saying like, hey, the Supergirl part of the crossover is just going to be the tail end. There's a lot of people that didn't get that, so
I don't know.
Maybe people would have been confused.
It would have been cool to see Linda Carter, because then you'd at least have Wonder Woman on the stage with all of
the rest of them,
which would have been really cool. But I know you're not going to like this, but I did like that Cisco made a little like medallion thing that she can just go boop, and goes over to another
you mean
universe.
A plot device?
Yes.
They gave her a literal plot device?
A magician.
I liked it. I just still I'm actually before my hope was that this crossover would lead to Supergirl merging. Now I'm hoping whatever crazy crisis future Barry's referring to is the thing that merges. I need Superman on the same world as the rest of these heroes. I need it. You know what?
Well, then you'd need Superman in more than 3 episodes a season.
Well, but even just knowing he's in this universe, like knowing
tough,
that
though, because then they
and Batman, because Batman's a part of that universe.
Yeah, but they would have to call him very often.
No.
They should.
That same logistics goes with the Flash. Shouldn't they call the Flash all the time? Well, no, because he's off doing his own thing. You know what I mean? If the same reasoning that we don't just call the Flash or the Legends would apply to Superman, and I just like to know that the most of the Justice. Listen, we have the Hall of Justice. I need to know that most of the Justice
We're
League
never going to go back there again.
I want to know that it exists on the same.
They
Earth.
could train HR could train Wally there.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. And also, it's a see, like, honestly, if these shows run as long as they probably will, once we get a couple Justice League movies, they'll probably call up Jeff Johnson, like, hey, can we at least have the silhouettes of, like, Batman and Wonder Woman? doing. Just
You know what they're
one,
gonna do? Oh my God! HR keeps trying to turn Star Labs into like a museum.
It's gonna be the Flash
hall,
Museum.
Turn the hall. I mean, that would be really cool. But
Yeah.
turn the hall into like something that like memorializes all of these
heroes.
Heroes.
Well, that's what it is on Young
I think the
Justice.
museum.
Yeah.
I think the museum plot line's leading to the Flash Museum.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
But don't have the museum in your headquarters. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That
But
seems
it was
real
really
dumb.
fun to see. Also, how is it not suspicious that you had a big press conference with every superhero at a Star Labs facility, and then you go to the actual Star Labs facility, and you're like, oh shit, Flash.
Which, by the way, you don't need to make it a museum. Anybody can walk in there anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody
No matter
can just
how
walk
hard
in
Wait a
there.
second. Why would you open a museum to the Flash when he's only been around for 3 years?
Hey, they already have a Flash Day.
I mean, he did. I mean, but he also saved people from like a black hole. They're like, you
Yeah.
know what?
Yeah,
Like,
you
do is
get a
have
day.
have
Yeah, just give him a day.
Day in the park. With
You know what? And in a couple of years we can just cancel it.
Yeah. But I did like, you brought it up, but I liked the finale for Legends of Tomorrow. It was a very solid episode. All of these episodes were really good.
Yeah.
This crossover shouldn't have worked as well as it did.
When this goes to Netflix, I'm definitely going to rewatch all three of them together without ads. And
Oh,
just
I already bought all
suck
4
up.
episodes because I'm going to be on plane next week. And
Good-
I'm
good
going
call.
to watch it 3 times. And
I think you're overestimating how long you're going to be in that plane. you have like all these things you're going to binge,
Yeah.
and, like books you're going
I
to
have
I think you're
languages.
underestimating how long he's going to be on
He's
that
going to
plane.
learn a new language.
Yeah, wouldn't you be impressed? I come back, I know Russian. But guys, make sure you guys keep voting for the shows.
Who's
While-
winning? Who's winning?
I
Who's
don't
winning?
want to. I want to look at the very
And
at the
okay,
very
they're
end. You
holding
guys
off.
keep voting for Supergirl.
Listen, we
Appreciate
all
it.
won. We all won a very amazing crossover.
Thank you. Okay, really.
Would you
really
guys-
quick, another vote? Really quick. Vote now.
Do
Right
you guys?
here.
What do you guys hope? You hope they do? This is a yearly thing now that we have the
Of
big
course.
crazy.
Yeah.
Of course.
Twice a year.
It's going to be a musical every year,
And
too.
if they're making that Black Lightning show, maybe bring Black Lightning over.
But he's on Fox. It'll be another universe they'll have to merge over.
Oh, guys, don't worry. They'll bring him onto Lucifer.
Yay! Lucifer, Gotham, Black Lightning.
Hey, listen, I'd rather Lucifer than Gotham.
Yeah. But while we wait for the last few votes to come in, did you guys watch some Agents of Shield?
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a little fun. We had some. We figured out where everybody went after that big explosion.
Yeah.
We got sucked into nothing.
Almost hell.
Yeah, almost hell.
Middle
A mirror
hell.
dimension.
Yeah.
There's a mirror dimension.
Mirror, mirror.
It was, and it had the same effects going on like in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But we had a cool moment where we had Mac getting the Ghost Rider demon on the inside. Also some backstory for the demon as well.
Yeah, my favorite moment was definitely Robbie talking to the demon because it made the Spirit of Vengeance a character, and also when he's like, "Oh yeah, Escape from Hell," I'm like, "Ghost Rider's so cool. Ghost Rider's such a cool character." And did they go? The implication I got was Robbie's like, "Listen, I'm going to go to hell with you and deal with all your hangups, and then we're going to deal with mine." So before he shows up, in that time, he went on and tore up in hell and then came back.
I think maybe he did a few things, but there's going to be like things now that are on each other's checklists where they have to go through all of these things.
I need a Ghost Rider show.
And I like
really cool.
playing the two scenes
need
with Coulson them in like the mirror dimension and them like that
And
actual storyline.
I like how, like, Ada with all this knowledge is really scary.
Yeah. Oh,
really,
no,
really
Hey,
scary.
you know what?
She read the whole Darkhold and like basically the entire thing,
Yeah.
and then she made a portal really fast, and it's this really cool like effect of her like building something
And
metaphysical. that no
it's
one can
basically
see.
the Doctor Strange portal that they built with science.
Yeah, like he can do it with one hand. She just has to build it strand by strand until she can make it. But now she's in a room building some kind of magical
Brain. Yeah.
Oh god.
Because she's making other live model decoys.
Oh my god, it's gonna be an army and they're gonna
That'd be
fight.
great.
They're gonna be fighting supermodels.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and also Mac,
Army of supermodels.
but also Mac now knows like, holy shit, you actually have a demon inside of you. Like it was stuck inside me, and I don't know. I'm excited for where they go with Agents of Shield. This, please, every season, write to ABC right now. Say that from now on it's Agents of Shield. Black Bolt,
whatever.
Agents of the Shield, Namor. I don't give a shit. Just put a character on the show.
Characters, I'd like to see Hercules or She-Hulk. We were talking
She-Hulk
about
would be really cool.
Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew Spider-Woman.
Because she has such a big history with Shield. So,
yeah.
man, also bring
Is there
back
anybody-
Mockingbird. I mean, I don't give a shit.
Man, I
Bring
miss
it.
Mockingbird.
Yeah, they're alive.
Which, by the way, I thought about it. They would have never do this, but they could have called her whoever her guy was. His codename could have been Hawkeye. There could have been multiple people with the codename Hawkeye.
Yeah,
That's true.
Anyway,
Confuse the hell out of them.
yeah, I know, but it would have been great. Maybe prefer him to Jeremy Renner. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's a big
Arrow's
Nick
fired.
Blood fan.
But what character would you want on the
well,
Shield show?
Nick Blood.
Nick Flood.
One Agents of Shield, Nick Blood.
That's the actor's name too, isn't
No, I
it?
was just talking to. Yeah, that's the actor's name.
He was the one of those that like his name is as cool as his character's name.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I know more obscure DC heroes than Marvel heroes.
I got it. Blade.
Yes,
That
1,000
weirdly-
times
that
yes.
weirdly actually
1,000
would work.
times
But
yes.
we already did a supernatural.
I don't care.
Okay.
we
I don't
didn't get
care.
vampires.
He
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a Blackula. He fights vampires.
And
He is
just
a
on the day,
daywalker.
How cool would that be? And they want to do a female Blade too.
Yeah.
Like, that would be
Yeah.
so
Oh
cool.
my God.
They
Female
could
Blade
do
would be
Black
so
Knight
sick.
if they really wanted to get weird.
It's tough because
would be
that
so weird.
they're the universe that can't cross certain boundaries, and like the fucking rights on this like removes pretty much every character I find interesting is like either already has a movie or Fox owns.
Right.
What if they did a Nova one and they had like a
No,
space,
like the actual
There have been
Nova
rumors
story?
about actually a whole Nova show.
That'd be so
That'd be cool.
And then you could have it tie closer, that show tie closer to Guardians of the Galaxy and
Someone
stuff like
said
that.
Moon Knight, and although Moon Knight's cool, it would be weird.
I-
Moon Knight is a full Netflix show.
Yeah.
I would love to see Moon Knight. I may or may not have a whole pitch written in my computer that will go nowhere because I don't matter.
Oh,
Yeah,
send that
don't
email.
worry, guys. I'll go into his email and I'll just post it on Twitter.
There you go.
All right. Agent show was fun. Crossover was a little bit more fun. Let's go ahead and
Yeah.
check. this.
I love that exists, man. That we got this crossover blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like I probably sound like an idiot when I say it, but I really can't think of something more ambitious on TV.
I really love that
than
the
a
characters
three-part-
get it too. They were like, "This was cool."
Yeah,
You know, like they
it's just,
knew it was.
it just really feels like a comic brought to life. When the showrunners say they have a Silver Age spirit, like it's no joke. Like, didn't this feel like reading? They wanted
It
to
felt
do
like
the,
an 80s comic.
They
Guys,
wanted
really
to do
quick,
the,
vote for Supergirl. Vote for Supergirl.
wanted to
Sam
do
is
that.
looping.
They wanted to
Sam.
do the classic Dominator robes, but the robes, when they decided to go full CGI, the robes would have been too
Constricting.
constricting. I actually really like the design of the
Yeah,
Dominators.
the design was really cool.
As long as you don't pay too much attention to Diggle's drawing.
You know, like,
Look, I'm not much of an artist, but
I also like that they kind of went away from the Dominator's design can be viewed as a little bit racist, but this
Yeah.
version of the design was better, I
that
thought.
worked.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Agent
Yes,
of Shield,
yes.
Squirrel Girl. Be really
Yes.
hard to say, but you get
Oh,
that
that'd
show.
be cool.
All right. He goes Arrow, Legends of
Heels,
Tomorrow,
yeah.
Supergirl, and then Flash. I don't understand how Flash has so few votes.
So few.
I'll be fair, I didn't really even tell anyone to vote
It
for
was-
it.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't bad. It
It
wasn't
just was
that
the worst
bad.
part of the crossover.
But we
Yeah,
have
it was.
1,444 votes for Arrow. Then next down is Legends with 995.
Listen, Arrow was-
There's still time.
Wait,
253. Yeah. there's still time.
when Sam came in, he's like, "You want to do Arrow?" It's like, "Thanks, man," because I legitimately, I didn't know how I'd argue against.
Quick,
Arrow.
Sam, refresh.
Quick, refresh it again.
Like, I legitimately think for me, it was definitely the best part of the crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Some shout outs to you guys. Let's see. Superhero fan wants a Young Avengers movie or TV show.
Yes.
The Hen Animal wants a
work.
special where Howard the Duck joins them, and I would
That,
totally
that would
watch
totally
I'm
work as
100%
an
in.
agent.
Yeah.
They add
it.
Howard the
Agent
Duck.
Duck.
Yeah.
Ooh, Agent Venom. Because now they have Super
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Agent
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, our friend of the show. Wait, our friend of the show, Tony Revolori, as Agent Venom.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. Friend of the
alright.
show.
Friend
You
of the
guys
show.
ready?
Yeah.
As Arrow the winner, you get basically CW's Arrow.
Yeah, this is really
And
cool.
As the losers, we get Celery Stick!
Hell!
Fuck yeah! Isn't that just as fun? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys always tuning into the show, tweeting at us, sending your thoughts, comments, everything. And especially your suggestions for prizes and whatnot. But
Wait a second.
really quick, guys, just so you know, we will not be here next week. We're getting close to the holidays. A lot of us are going to be out of town, so no Super Smack. But we'll be talking about all these shows on Twitter, so you can follow all of us.
Arrow.
Also, tune into Only Stupid Answers.
You have two Batman? There were two in there?
No, there's this. There's
Oh,
this
there's the one.
Oh. Tune into Only Stupid Answers on Monday. We're on Audio Boom and Stitcher and Google Play Music and Spotify and a bunch of other places. We're going to be talking about this crossover with Jason and other friend of the show, Jason Inman. Yeah, to be really.
He's a friend of
If you
the
wanted to
show.
dive deeper into this crossover, we're going to do that and maybe speculate on what's coming. Mr. Mixel Spitlick on Supergirl.
Yeah,
I said that right.
really cool.
backwards.
Also, I did a video this week talking about what crossovers I'd like to see in the future after this one.
Very cool. DJ Talks Trash. And
Yes.
Matt, got a little plug.
My name is Martin Manhunter. You can follow me, Martin Manhunter, at Matt Lieberman on Twitter. The Nuclear Family, we've been putting out some cool stuff. December's a big month for us. We are doing a Nuclear Family Christmas special. Just in time for Christmas. It's really fucked up and weird. and I don't know yet if it's gonna work.
Oh, I know it
It
will.
may or may not air. No, I'm
It
kidding.
may or may, yeah, but it's gonna be really cool. So keep an eye out for that on Nuclear Family. That's really all for me. Have a happy New Year.
And Philip, Fimo, Twitter.
You didn't wash
Has this
this,
been
right?
washed?
No, he didn't
Yes.
wash this. No,
No,
he's
you
lying.
didn't wash it.
It's wet.
I'm gonna wait till it's washed.
It tastes like your fingers. I would know. I work here, and I've been doing a lot of stuff here, and we got a lot of stuff coming out from now to the end of the year that we already shot, and I'm really excited to see.
We shot so much shit.
I know
Yeah.
we've shot so much, so just tune in while this break is happening, and just kind of let us know, like, hey, it was worth it, all the extra work you guys put in.
It's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah.
And at Sam Basher, you can follow me Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like,
Yeah.
comment, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. Make sure you rewatch this as many times as you like. You want some more celery? Go for it, man.
Happy first half season of their CW shows this year.
Yeah.
They've been great, and hopefully they will keep it up. Because I swear to God, if Ragman doesn't get his own spin-off show, I'm rioting.
Woo!
Everyone agree?
Oh, there we go.
You just Sam
Agents
Bastard.
of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ragman.
Oh my God, I watch it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ragman, Ragman.
Ragman.
Sam doesn't even watch this show, but we're saying
Ragman.
Ragman.
Ragman.